Okay, right, I'm going to pick my keys up. I bought myself an early Peugeot 206, 1998 one, 24th of December of 1998, of all things. I bought it from a lovely lady who owned it for 22 years, and I'm planning to sort of get her back up to scratch and sort that dent out on the wing there, look. Does unbolt. Get rid of some of this foliage while we're here, shall we? It's the thought that counts, isn't it? So yeah, get her up to scratch, and she's an S-Reg, so she's quite rare, so let's have a little look around her. 1.1 TU engine, pretty basic stuff. Let's have a look. No mayo under that, that's good. The notorious head gasket's going. So new battery, green light, dead battery. Let's take that out, so I didn't have a chance to test the car. I'm going to change the wheels. That's the first thing I'm going to do from the GTI here. Get rid of 13-inch ones. Poor old GTI, he's dead now. But yeah, let's have a little look. Sort of I've noticed straight away that the paint's flaking here, which that's going to need addressing, but I can scratch it with my finger, and some of it's coming off, so maybe a bit of T-cut or sandpaper and then re-lacquering it, and it might be okay. Maybe not, might need to put a vinyl over that, but you know, I've got options. I don't really want to spend a massive amount of money. Boot lid might be a little more tricky, as you see, sort of it's tracking all the way down here. So it is bad in places, but it's not too bad in other places. So it's not too, it's not too shabby. We'll get it sorted. But, yeah, it looks right, doesn't it, on the face of things? I want to have a little look inside it, I think, and then because the previous owner said it was a bit mouldy in here, and yeah, it is a wee bit on the seat belts and across the seats. But check out this funky interior. I really like this blue. Like, it seems the Phase 1 cars had much nicer interiors than the Phase 2s did. And it seems like a real nice place to be, this. Look at that, lovely blue. Reminds me very much of my 205, actually. Standard sort of elephant hide dash was lauded by Top Gear back in the day. They absolutely hated that. I haven't started it up yet, so with the battery fitted, let's turn her over and see whether she's going to go. All right, take her up here. Yeah, okay, she fires up. She sounds pretty healthy, idles nicely. Quarter of petrol in there, no rev counter, but we do have a sort of funky stereo in there, so we'll take that as a bit of a bonus. Handbrake's a bit high, so that was on the MOT advisories that need to be sorted out, so we'll get that sorted. Right, what I've done now is I've fitted the GTI wheels onto the car, and I think you'll agree, it actually transforms it massively. Got Hans Peugeot not really changing the body shapes for these. Right, so sort of tracing along here, I think this is just general dirt, so I might be able to clean some of this off. I might do that in a minute and we'll see where we get to. I'm not going to be able to clean this off, obviously. That's going to be for another video, that sort of lack appeal. But one thing I did notice with the wheels is under here where the observation panel is, plastic panel or splash guards, that one there is I think it's had some welding done, that sill, so someone hasn't fitted that back on properly, so it's a little bit close to the wheel. But I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. But these are 16-inch wheels, so we just have to be careful of that. Make sure it doesn't foul the arch liners, because that will be a bad day and it will start smelling like burnt plastic. Front actually looks really nice, doesn't it? Like from 10 paces, the front actually looks much nicer than the rear of the car. So I think a lot of it sort of weather battering has happened at the back. See, it's the really early type look with the actual physical lock on the boot lid. So they only did that for a certain amount of time on these little base models. It's one of those things that they sort of discontinue that very, very quickly. So that's actually a period specific part of this car. What I did was I gave it a quick sort of I wouldn't say a wash. I put a cloth over it just to get rid of some of the dust and dirt, and the paint starts to come out relatively nice here. So I'm quite interested in pursuing getting the paint corrected and making it look a lot nicer. I say she. The car's called Purdy, which is the previous owner picked her name, and that stays with her. So I made sort of a pledge that I would look after Purdy, and that's what I plan to do. I think you can agree that initial sort of thoughts are she's actually looking alright. She's pretty solid. Sort of underside as well, she's pretty good. Not being so close to the coast like we are down here. Actually, should we take you over to the old GTI? Poor thing. This one featured on quite a few of my videos, as did this 205. 205 is my daily driver at the minute, and the GTI was my girlfriend's daily driver at the time. But yeah, he snapped his cam belt, and as you can see, these 13-inch wheels don't actually fit over the calipers of the GTI. So Sadly, this boy is just sat on his little chicken wheels, and he can't even have his front ones on. But I'm going to take that fuel cap, I think. That'll look really nice on Purdy, so I think we'll swap that over. I think there's a case of it just sort of unclips. Can't get a driver's door open. You see I've stripped out the interior. Look, the seats were the first thing that went. A lot of the plastic gubbins are in the back here. I think some of the panels are going on Sunday for this car, so he's not long for this world. It is a shame because I absolutely love this car, and it's a very, very rare GTI HDI. Going to regret pulling this apart, I should imagine, at some point in the near future. But as you can see, sort of in the engine bay, a lot of it's been stripped down. A lot of key parts have been taken out. I've been sanding off bits and pieces. So other cars will live on. It's not as if I'm sending this straight to the scrapyard. Plenty of other 206s will live on from the fruit of the labour of this car. So we'll just have to see how it goes and go from there. But these GTI Sport Wings I was thinking of putting on Purdy, but I don't think we will go down that route now. We'll try and save the one that's on the passenger side already. Right, next up, I need to do some of the MOT advisories, which I know about, and one of them was changing this washer pump here. Now, this one feeds the back and the front, and you need to take the front wheel off, obviously take all your bolts out, and it already stuck itself to the disc, which is hideously worn, so I had to sort of tease the wheel back off, even though I'd only put it on like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, as you can see, it's got quite a lip on that disc. Underside of the car doesn't look too bad otherwise. Catalytic converter. So handily on the early models, they've got an observation hatch here, which the GTI didn't have, so I had to take the whole liner out for that. But as you can see in here, one feed does the front, one feed does the back, and what you've got to do is press the motor into like a sort of an O-ring seal on the bottle itself. And you've got to sort of yank it out, and all your fluid comes flying out. There's no getting around that. Disconnect your pipes, and then you basically can pull the motor out. And then reconnecting it, shove it back in, make sure that the seal is pressed as much as it can be to the bottle, because the last thing you want is for that not to connect with the seal, and then loads of water ends up coming out once you've reassembled it, put your wheel back on, and you realise that you've got to redo it all again. Naturally, you've got to fill it back up with fluid as well. Once you close this observation hatch, put your wheel back on, and that's done from the engine bay here, where sort of the neck of the bottle is. And I filled this one back up now and made sure that it's not leaking or anything like that. So jobs are good, and it's shame in it. It's taking bits off the GTI, never mind. Right, next up on the list of things to do was one of these side lights was out. And what you do with this is see this connection here. What you do is you press down on the little spring, and then you can turn it, and then it yanks straight out, giving you access to the bulb. And when you squeeze in on the metal thing, you can pull the bulb straight off the connection. As to a similar thing on the rear here, another thing on the list was an indicator bulb was out. So the clusters on these are very much sort of like how the 106 and 306 deals with its clusters. Oh, put a new boot seal in as well, because previous owner said it's letting water in here, which sure enough there is some water on the boot floor. So I took them off the GTI. All these bits have cost me nothing so far because I've taken them off the GTI. But anyway, get back to this. So as you can see, there's like a sort of plastic turn dial here, which you have to turn, and then there's a little clip that you unclip here, and you can just slide the cluster straight out. Make sure you put the foam grommet back in as well, because obviously that's the weatherproofing for this. If you lose that, then you will let water in, and you don't want to do that. It's sort of like a side trim that goes on that was taken off previously. Oh, VIN number. Usually on the front, I think, on the later cars. So yeah, that was that sorted. So that's another thing off the list. So what we'll do is we check out to make sure that that's still working fine. It wasn't a loose connection. So no, that's working. That's working. Yeah, that's what we wanted. There's all these little things that you've got to do just to make sure that the car has got a decent enough chance of getting through the MOT. It's just simple little fixes, these. I would perhaps try and do the brake discs and pads myself, and they need doing, but I haven't really got enough time for the MOT. I've got I'm a dad at the end of the day. Right, lights on buzzer. So this bit here, just check your side lights first. So that one's working. Now that one's working. That's the one that's out. Check your rear cluster as well, just to make sure nothing's interfering or anything like that. So that one, as you can just about see, is on, and that one is also on. And kick him up to his main beam. Should recheck the full beam as well to make sure that works. Didn't do that. Right, that one's fine. and that was fine. Right, so that's everything I can do this time around. I've got to go get my son from school. So, yeah, this is the first of hopefully many videos on this car. And tune in next time. See you later.